My name's Kevin, and I am 26 years old. The incident I am going to tell you about now is something which, perhaps I can never forget about, or explain. Even as I think about it now, I simply get the chills. Believe me or not. Call me a liar, call me a fake, but what I am going to tell you now, is something that is very, very real. It all started exactly 8 years ago. From now on, when I was just an average 16-year-old high schooler. I wasn't at the top of my class, but I did well on average. My family wasn't poor, but we weren't that rich either. I wasn't that very happy with my life, but I wouldn't say I was sad either. I had a few friends, if not a lot, and we often hung out together after school or whenever we were free. Things were pretty okay, and no matter what, I was content with my life. Out of all my friends, there was this one girl. I was close to it. We were best friends for years then. I remember we did all sorts of things together. Even in those times when no one else was with me, she was. She was that one person in my life, which I really could not compare to anyone else. She was really pretty and had a very positive and friendly personality, which made me like her even more. She was that one person I could tell everything to without worrying about anything, and she gladly listened and gave me help or advice when I needed it. I really could never thank her enough for what she did, even though I tried my best to be a great friend to her. Everything remained friendly between us until we started high school. That's when I started to develop feelings for her. I remember I had the hugest crush on her. I would blush madly even as if spoke, not sure if she ever noticed. And I could skip 3 classes in a row just so I could get to hang out with her. She was everything to me. I kept thinking about her all day every day. We seemed to grow even closer, and things were working in my favor as I could see she did not have any other possible guy friends she could be hooking up with, so I was the only one. And I am pretty sure she was straight. There was something weird about her though. She owned an abnormal amount of dogs. I just figured she really liked pets, but it always made me curious though. I mean, how did all of those fit inside her home anyway? Whenever I asked her about it, she always shrugged it off and changed the topic. I guess she wasn't comfortable talking about it, and I didn't want to judge anyone for taking care of harmless animals, so I didn't pay much attention to it. But I never liked those dogs. Whenever I went to visit her, they always barked at me and attacked me, for literally no reason. I was just simply annoyed with that, and later I used to ask her to come meet me somewhere else because I was so sick of dealing with those fierce beasts. We kept going good until it happened. We were finally in college. As an 18-year-old young adult, I moved out of my parents' home and decided to live on my own. And as soon as I got my new home, I decided to throw a party with all my friends and enjoy myself for a while. Lots of my friends, acquaintances, and many others arrived and started to dance and drink as they partied to the rhythm of their hearts. I just played along with them and pretended to do the same, keeping them company, but I was waiting for her to arrive. You know who I mean. After about an hour late or so, I finally got a text from her which said that she was there and asked me to open the door. I grinned as I read the text, and excitedly rushed to the door and walked outside. There she was, parking her car, as she arrived on the spot. I gave her a soft smile and waved, telling her to come in. She smiled back, as she walked towards me, but there was something wrong with her. There was an unusually disgusting smell coming from her body, and she looked quite pale and different, and the smile she gave me was kind of creepy. This was usually not how she smiled, I could say for sure. But whatever, I figured she was just tired and I decided to forget about it and just enjoy the party. We were soon tired and exhausted, and we decided to end it for the night, but my best friend decided to stay longer with me, as we were just going to spend the rest of the night playing video games and watching movies. It was time for her to leave as well, and my best friend and I decided to bid everyone farewell, so we walked outside with them as they prepared to leave. I walked to her car, as she got in, to say goodbye to her, but then I noticed something, that smell. That very disgusting smell I got from her, it was coming from the car too. Just as she was about to drive away, she suddenly remembered she had forgotten her phone in my house, and got back out. She gave me an awkward laugh, and headed back into my house, to get what she had forgotten. Now I am aware touching others' things without permission was wrong, but I couldn't help it. I was curious. I had to see what was causing that smell. I noticed if anyone was looking, and quickly began to search inside her car, to see if I could find anything. But to my avail, I found nothing. I tried to convince myself that I was just probably hallucinating since I got drunk for the first time today, but I decided to give it one last shot. I slowly, yet quickly enough, opened the trunk of her car, and then, I couldn't even speak. What I saw haunts me to this day. There were human body parts, cut into parts to fit inside the trunk. They were put on a bloody tray-like object which was cold, and I guess she put some kind of chemical on them so the parts don't rot very quickly. The smell got way too intense as I opened the trunk. I covered my nose, as I closed the trunk immediately after a few seconds of looking. My heart began to beat faster, and faster, as my hands were shaking. I couldn't even speak. I got a kind of sick feeling in my stomach, as I felt like I was going to throw up. I could see her coming back, after getting her phone. I tried to act as normal as possible and got myself out of there. I quickly went up to my best friend and told him everything I saw, and I could see the look of disbelief and horror on his face. We quickly called the police and explained the whole matter to them, and hoped she wouldn't have gone too far. And she was caught. She was responsible for 10 more murders in that state. This girl was a psycho. It had been reported that after she murdered her victims, she would cut their bodies into parts and feed them to the dogs she owned. It was kind of like a hobby to her. And after she was put in jail, she confirmed that her next target was none other than me. To this day I don't know what would have happened if she didn't forget her phone inside and I didn't investigate her car. Even though I hesitated, perhaps I wouldn't be here, telling you guys this story. Years have passed, but I can never forget this incident, and whenever I think about it, I get nightmares, absolute nightmares.